Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Marskies with that quality content, and today I'm doing a little bit of a tier list, something chill, something easy, something calm, and we're gonna be doing competitive Call of Duties. So every COD, from a competitive standpoint, don't care about pubs, don't care about the campaign, none of that. That will be for a separate video of the best CODs for just everything. But for now, we're just gonna I'm gonna do them in order from the oldest COD to the newest COD. Thank you guys for the over 100 subs. I really wanted to do something to like acknowledge that. I didn't abandon place. Maybe didn't seem like a special video. It was definitely different, not for the channel, but it was done. But yeah, thank you guys for 100, and we're already way past that. We're at 130 something now. So appreciate you guys watching the videos, subscribing, and most importantly, my favorite part is that you guys are commenting. I enjoy the comments. I enjoy just helping people, talking to people, and that's a sign of a start of a great community. So thank you guys, and let's get right into it. I'm gonna throw up the CODs that I haven't played, and spoiler alert, it's gonna be CODs that no one cares about either. Starting with the COD 1, 2 on here, or COD 2. There we have it, just like that. Never played them. Are they competitive? They're not competitive. So now the real test begins. Starting with COD 4. Now I am a newer generation, and that kind of means BO1. Honestly, like I didn't start on COD 4. But like I did play them competitively. Personally, I'm gonna give it a D. It had sabotage, had domination, and had S&D. S&D was probably the best mode out of it. The weapons were fun. Obviously, the AK-74U, the MP5, the M16. People be aware with like some other ARs as well. The sniping was good. The maps they were all right in my opinion. I just hate how everything, there's a nade spot for off spawns and stuff like that, and 2.5 minutes of S&D rounds are just so cringe. And the TTK was pretty crazy. I mean, we had Jug, yeah, but like the M16 was a 2-bullet kill with sobbing power, 2 bullets and a 3 bursts. You don't have to hit the full burst to get a kill. You know what I mean? So honestly, it gives me some S&D that I would want to play. As for Dom and like sabotage, they're just old school. We don't do that nowadays, and like they're just, Dom is definitely not competitive. It is not a competitive mode. So for me, I'm gonna put it in D. Maybe it might be moved up to C, but it's like on the higher tier of D. So let's move on to the next game, which would be World at War. Now, World at War is the exact same game, literally the exact same game. Sabotage, S&D, domination. Maybe not sabotage. I know there was I think it's called momentum, where you'd push the point, cap the point, then cap the next point. But if it goes the other way around, they're capping your points, they push you into your base, and then they cap all the flags, and you just go back and forth until whoever wins the game capping all the flags. That was cool. It was on Castle for one map that I remember. The S&D, I just something about this game I am truly biased about. So for that, I'm gonna give it C. But in no way is this game gonna be B. There's just no way it's gonna be B. We're talking about everything in general. This game is gonna be better than a C, but strictly competitive, it is a C. After World at War, they come out with a straight banger of MW2. Now, most people are going to throw it up in S tier. Some haters are going to throw it on an F tier. Me personally, I'm going to throw it in A tier. MW2 was great. The weapons were so fun. This game had ADS, Quick Draw Pro, so you could snap. You could obviously strafe and walk with the subs, not as much the ARs. You had wonderful maps everyone remembers, like High Rise. Like there's just so many good things about this game. As for the other modes besides S&D, of course, you had I think Demolition. I could be wrong. And you had Dom. Now, I'm not a fan of Dom, but I do know it's a mode that works better in these older CODs as compared to like Modern Warfare 2019. But I'm leaving it an A. It could be a B tier for me almost, honestly, with how fast you do die in this game. You know, it's IW titles. It's kind of wild, but it is MW2. This is just such a great COD in general. After MW2 comes Black Ops 1, and honestly, I'm going to drop it in C. I really don't want to put it in D because I feel like it's kind of too harsh, but this game really was just 484 for Mosses. Maybe some weird person might pull out a 74U, and like maybe like a hit like a certain route, maybe it's for a faster speed, just maybe more mobility, but like the FAMAS was the FAMAS. There was no other reason to use a different gun. Now the AUG, I believe, had a horizontal recoil difference, but stat-wise was the same. But still, 4v4 FAMAS, The maps were competitively okay, but they're all very memorable maps. So I do like the maps. Again, another COD with the same domination. Headquarters, I believe, might have been this game. It's still the same thing. It's still not where comp really got to in its prime just yet, in my opinion. The MW3. And honestly, now that I think about it, this is how we're gonna rock. I think MW3 is better than MW2 competitively, to be honest. The maps, faster pace, quick draw was still in this game again. The guns, in my opinion, were more fun to use. And that's really gonna how I'm rocking it. I know this is just a weird list. Probably some people, MW2 should be at the top. You know, COD 4 should probably be at the top. BO1 maybe to some people think that, but it's really not that good competitively wise. But that's kind of how I'm feeling. MW3, in my opinion, was more enjoyable, but overall, I think MW2 might have been more special. These games are so similar to me, but I kind of don't want to put them side by side. We'll see at the end of the video. One of the greatest CODs of all time, and it's going to be our first S tier. I'm sorry if anyone has anything to say about it. This game has everything. Now, we're talking about competitive, but we had Raid, we had Standoff. Express S&D was kind of, you know, questionable. People might have, like, you know, nostalgia just blinding them, but the game had wonderful maps. It's like slums, Yemen. Some people like Yemen. I like Yemen. You had the M8s. You had the A94. You had the MP7 at some point. I don't know how long that lasted. The PDW, the MSMC, like the DSR Sniper, the B23R, the Tech 45, the 5.7. I'm naming guns that were in more of the meta, not just, which it sounds like a lot of guns. That's a good game. Multiple guns can be used. Trophy systems were in this game. Hardpoint was in this game, and granted, possibly the best hardpoint system for spawns. Maybe not, you know, the timer and all that stuff. That's different. But S tier, I just don't think you can go wrong with saying this game is S tier. This game has it all. You have the anchors, your OBJ players, your slayers. Like, this game really hit the nail on it. Now, after BO2 comes Ghost, and to be quite honest, I'd rather play Ghost over MW2. Faster pace. TTK is crazy. Don't get me wrong. Crazy as TTK. But the Vector, so much fun to use. The Remington, so much fun to use. The MTAR when it was in his thing, in his time. Of course, you have like cringe stuff like the Bulldog shotgun, you know, all that stuff, whatever. But S&D in this game, if we're talking about strictly S&D, this game could be up here in S tier. But, you know, unfortunately it is Ghosts. It has domination. They don't have hardpoint in this game. They added Blitz, and Blitz works really well on, I believe the map's called Freight, or Freight, I'm pretty sure. The track kill, or the track map. That's a great map for it. Other than that, Warhawk, where people just sit in corners, let you run past them, they sneak through and go to the back. Things like that. It wasn't really that great. But S&D really pushes this game ahead. A weird game to come after BO2, but it really did bring the momentum from how great of a year BO2 was, from like the competitive pro side, you know, of the Optic, you know, all those teams, Farico, you know, everyone. So I think it's good to be at B. It's definitely not too crazy. Would I played over World at War and like Black Ops 1, I would. Over COD 4, I would. Over MW2, I would. Honestly, in this order. I feel like this is how I like it so far. I'm trying to think like, you know, what I feel, and would I play the games underneath it over them, and I'm not. I don't feel that way. So I think I'm doing a good job for me personally. Now the next COD after Ghost, we're sick of it. We're complaining about boots. We're done. It's stale. Let's bring out the next Call of Duty game, and that's going to be Advanced Warfare. Now, where does this game go, honestly? I love jetpack CODs. I love boot CODs. I love COD in general. But jetpacks, there was nothing wrong with them. It was fun Call of Duty, competitive. Big skill gaps. This game had hardpoint. It had S&D. It had uplink. You feel me? It had uplink. Tell me that's not a good mode in Call of Duty. Granted, I think uplink is my least favorite within AW. Hardpoint was really good. S&D, alright. But to be honest, this is stuck between A and B. A and B. It's definitely not C and it's definitely not S. The ASM one was so good. The bow was good. The TTK in that game was solid. The hit marker sound was great because of the sledgehammer. They make the best hit marker sounds. I'm not even kidding. And it was highly competitive. It was a great time for comp as well. I mean, this is realistically where I learned. I knew comp around BO2, but really like my homie pulled me out and like showed me it, and like we played rank play for the first time. It was AW, and I don't know. I'm gonna put it in A for. I'm gonna put it in B. I'm gonna put it in B. Ahead of Ghost. I'd rather play it over Ghost 100%. And the next COD, and honestly, one of the greatest CODs of all time. And in my opinion, I can't make an argument that I'd play it over BO2. BO2 was so good. So good. But BO3 was so good. You had Hardpoint, obviously, S&D, Uplink. And I will take Uplink over a map, a mode like Domination. CTF was good. But like Uplink is such a great mode, and honestly, it only works in jetpacks really. And this game, the meta was so diverse. Any sub was pretty much viable for the most part. Any AR was viable for the most part. That's why in the ban and protect system, you could just ban the M8, ban the VMP. But the Kuda's still there. The XR2 is still there. You got the Man of War. You got the Weevil, the Pharaoh, the Vestra, which was on and off being banned, GA'd. Certain sites allowed it, certain sites didn't. But Nerf did a lot. Didn't do much. But everything works. The HVK. Maybe I want to ban Deddy. I want to allow awareness for this S&D. You know, they can't really try to hide from me with the audio cues. I'm going to listen to them type of thing. You know, like very methodical how you could get sometimes with the ban and protect. A little corny at times. Granted, it, you know, takes longer to start the game. But it was great. Maps like Fringe S&D. Breach S&D, Breach Uplink. Like, are these don't sound like fun maps to you? Exodus, or no, Evac S&D, which people didn't like that. I really liked it. But this game just has so many good maps, so many good guns, good modes, bright colors, great TTK. I cannot stop talking good about this game. I might put it ahead of BO2, but I feel like I can't do that. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. The next COD is IW. Not the best jetpack out of them, but a personal favorite. I'd definitely play it over MW3. The meta was so good. ERAD, short to medium range. If you were that good, long range you could beam somebody. K-Bar was the all-around gun. Medium to long range, should lose to the ERAD and close, but if you're that good, you could pull it up close. MV4, long to medium. If you're that good, you could use it up close. You see how like every gun can, they just mesh. The meta just meshes into one another. Now, as for the the specialists in this game and in BO3, which were way more OP than IWs, but like the meta was great. The map's throwback, beautiful. Retell, beautiful. Scorch, beautiful. Crusher, S&D, passionate. So many good maps. I love every map. I love the meta. I love running camo. It just, it was not as smooth as BO3's movement. And, the maps are really tight to me to which ones might be better. But BO3 for sure is better. Because I feel like BO3 has an S tier S&D with Ghosts have an S tier S&D. So that's how I feel. And now we're done with jetpacks. And we're going straight back to the boots and to some old-fashioned boots. And honestly, I'm going to throw World War II in A tier. World War II, granted, didn't have trophy systems. Armored was super OP. So like that kind of was supposed to be your trophy system in a way. The PPS Sage. There was another year of IW when it came to such a good meta. At the right time, of course. PP, STG, Bar. Bar Flex, STG main, AR, and PP main sub. Perfect. Now, granted, some attachments were GA'd. The FG was in its bag when it was the time of it. But another amazing meta. Another game where the skill gap was so high. Even in how basic the game was, bare bone wise. But honestly, I feel like after everything I just said, I'm going to jump into B tier. Actually, it has its things wrong with it. Like I said, no trophies. I'd play AW over it, but they might both be B tier. I'll see at the end. Black Ops 4. and I would play it over MW3. I think I'll play it over IW. This game was so good. The SOG, Maddox, ICR, such an amazing meta. 3-gun metas are the best metas. This game introduced control as a third mode, as compared to not having uplink anymore. World War II tried to do it as gridiron, but this game had a much longer TTK. It had stim shots. It had the nastiest shimmies you could throw around corners. The slide canceling was absolutely disgusting. You ran really fast. You could slide off of ledges. You can shot punch. You can lunge. There are specialists. They all have their own special equipment. This game was not COD, but it was a very, very fun video game. And we're talking about competitive. It was very competitive. And it had one of the best metas, honestly. Definitely within the past 5 years. So this game had great maps like Seaside, Hardpoint, S&D was that taken out, but had great maps like Hacienda, Frequency. Great map for 1v1ing your homies or any beef you might have. You know, it's been a while since we had a 1v1 map out there that was fire. A good ass game, I mean. Good ass game. Now it all goes downhill. MW, F tier, I don't give a damn. The movement felt good. Tag sprinting, slide canceling felt good. Way, way too loud. You could hear people across the world. No Deddy, no real flag jacket, no real tac mask. Tune up, but then you risk tac mask for S&D. Meta, in my opinion, kind of sucked. I did not like the MP5. The M4 was pretty solid, but I was never an AR in that game. Trophies took 3 years to throw unless you put on amped, which then again, you sacrifice tune up to get more trophies, or battle harden, which is your fake tac mask. I mean, the maps were the most dog shit maps we've ever seen in COD history, and that is a fact. Literally a fact. Doesn't matter. The TTK was so damn fast. Maybe not as fast as Ghost. Ghost, you died fast, but on par. But the maps are so bad that if you did get caught, you were done. Horrible ass game. Never want to play it again. And now for the next Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Love this game, but it's a C tier for me. I think it's a C tier, but ahead of the other two CODs. Reason being that it got stale. Now, if we're talking mid Cold War, where we had Crossroads in the game, we had Speed Grip working the way it's supposed to work, Headshot Multiplier not being as broken. I think that was a good time. That was definitely a good time. When they had an APOC, and then they just nerfed Speed Grip, and then we stopped using Speed Grip. The Craig became so good, I felt like, at that time. The game just wasn't the same anymore. Still fun. Still a good competitive COD, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was solid. We played right. You should win. Like, if you're the better team, you're the better team. Parallel spawns did make that game kind of ass, but TTK wise, it was very solid. Not a BO4 slow, but not like a MW type of fast. It really was right in the middle. Maybe a little slower than BO3, but it was really good. But I feel like I would play the B tier games over Cold War. I've definitely enjoyed Cold War. If this was mid Cold War, it would be in B tier. And for the last Call of Duty game of them all, the game we're currently playing at this moment, Call of Duty Vanguard. And honestly, I'm throwing it in C, and I'm about to fix up my list. Alright, so we are back, and this is where I'm sitting at. Starting from the worst of the worst. Well, I mean, I guess we never played those 3 CODs. I mean, I played them, but I can't talk competitively. And I don't think they had any comp. F tier, MW. D tier, 4v4 from Moss, Black Ops 4, World at War. It's just, I'm being very blind about the nostalgia and just how much I am biased towards it, but in no way do I really think it's anything competitive. It didn't even have a competitive season. The game came out and went to COD 4. COD 4, I definitely still played over COD 4. I don't like the cringe S&D 2 minutes and a half, the nades. Very tactical, but you know, you could be smart, you could do things. It was definitely its own spice, but not for me. World War II, it was a solid game, C tier, you know. It was missing some things, don't get me wrong, but highly competitive, pretty consistent. But I just feel like World War II games just don't really work. They just don't really work. Vanguard is right there, quite high as compared to Modern Warfare, as they're both almost the same game, just reskinned. But it has Deddy. TTK is still horrible, but like it's also kind of like, because you can't pull up your gun fast enough. It has its own clunky it's this clunky ass game. Alright, I'm gonna leave it at that. It is clunky. I definitely love to play this game over MW and over the D tier CODs. Cold War easily better. Better maps. Modes feel better. Meta is honestly, I don't even know if it's better, but just a better COD. As for B, MW2, Ghost, faster pace. I like it more. AW by Jetpack. A tier MW3, which I feel like is better. MW2 competitively. A tier is gonna be IW, BO4, and S tier the BO2 and BO3 goats. They did not miss a beat with those two games. Treyarch was in their bag. And that's gonna wrap it up for my competitive tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been your boy Marskies. And if you haven't already, hit me with a follow, a sub, a comment, a like. Let me know what you guys think about your tier list. I am quite tired, but I feel like it's kind of where I'm at. It was kind of hard to do, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all later.